I'm so sorry. I'm having a little, oh, Bill Ruth is here. Hey, Billy Bob. I'm having a little computer issue, so I cannot hear you. So if you have anything to say, please say it in the comments. I am so happy to have these wonderful gentlemen here with us today, Keith and Derek Brewer. Give us a hello.
Hello.
Identical twins who I've known over 20 years. They grew up here in the South Bay. You've heard of 6 degrees of separation. These guys are 2 degrees of separation. Everybody that you know will know somebody that knows them. I was with State Farms, as a lot of you know, for 27 years, and prior to that, another insurance company. And I used to do a lot of business with them. They're very trustworthy, they're honest, and the nice thing about being a broker is you're not attached just to one company. And as you guys know, as most people know here, there is so much right now going on in the insurance industry. And it's very difficult, as I'm sure all of you know, it's very difficult to get insurance. So I'm going to turn it over to these guys. I'm having problems with my audio as well. You could hear me, but I can't hear you. So if you have any questions, please go into the chat. And B2 Insurance, Keith and Derek Brewer. And it's not going to be all doom and gloom. There's still insurance to get out there. So guys, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give a quick intro and a little background to our company, our business. My brother and I started insurance with another broker about, I don't know, 20-something years ago when we met Joanne. And we broke off from that brokerage, started our own brokerage about 13 years ago. We have a full staff of over 25 employees. We specialize in property casualty, home, auto, also business insurance, apartment buildings, duplexes, triplexes, single families. So yes, we are in an interesting market these days, and I could just jump in on why this is happening, what we're doing moving forward. And let's start why this all happened. I mean, pretty much it was during COVID. The insurance carriers couldn't raise their rates over COVID was 2 years, and then took another year before they even started getting rate increase. And so the carriers couldn't raise rates. Cost of cars were going up. Cost of repairing cars were going up. Bumpers cost you $1,000 to replace these days. And so the insurance carriers, believe it or not, started losing money. And insurance carriers aren't used to losing money. They always made money in the past, but not being able to raise rates really hurt them. And as you can see, State Farm is just 2 weeks ago is downloading 70,000 property policies, apartment buildings, single family homes. So they're having a tough time. They are the biggest insurer in the nation. And to see that happen to State Farms is tough for, well, not only for the State Farm agents, but for a lot of individual consumers out there, because now their policies are being non-renewed. They're scrambling to having to find new policies out there in the market. Good thing for B2 Insurance, we're brokers. Like Joanne said, we're not captive to any one insurance company. Our number one insurance carrier here right now is Mercury. They are a California-based company. They're not leaving California. They're still writing business in California. So Mercury is our go-to for homes currently. We also have another company called Bamboo. If worst comes to worst, we could go to the California Fair Plan and write a wrap around that. For a wrap, you can have liability and water damage. California Fair Plan only covers fire damage. So we still have multiple carriers out there writing business. Oh, another carrier is called Honeycomb as well. And so moving forward, this is going to take a couple of years for this to work itself out. Rates are going to continue going up. Most carriers just recently had a 25% rate increase on their auto and their home. And we're likely to see more rate increases for at least this next year going until 2025. I know the consumer doesn't want to hear that, but unfortunately, that's the reality we are in until the insurance carriers feel safe enough that they've gotten their rates increased high enough where they're comfortable coming back into the market. Derek, would you like to add anything that I may have forgot there?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys got this, but it's the Department of Insurance that's not allowing the carriers to raise their rates. And so they're kind of like the law governing what these insurance carriers can do or what they can't do. And so they did allow a big rate increase, but that's still not enough for these insurance companies to make money right now. And another reason why they're losing so much money is most of your plumbing in these houses were done in the 60s, in the 50s, in the 60s, the 70s. These pipes are all of a sudden starting to corrode one after another. And these homeowners are using this chance to remodel their homes on the insurance dime. And so let's just take an instance that happened. We had a tall and skinny home, single family home. It wasn't a condo, but the second story, the pipe broke in the wall. The client was out on vacation for a week. They come home to a humongous flood. It was like a swimming pool in their house. Well, if you guys know, the top floor did not get damaged, but insurance companies have to match the flooring. And so if they can't find that same flooring from the top floor all the way down, guess what? They get new flooring throughout the house. Guess what? They get to live somewhere else that's comparable to their house. Guess what? Rents have gone up. So a person that has, let's say, a $2 million home, now all of a sudden they're renting at $30,000 a month for over a year. We're in $300,000 to $400,000 of losses just in rental money, just in rental income. And so this is just one homeowner though, and it's happening left and right with these pipes. So our recommendation moving forward is hopefully if your clients are buying in the 60s or 70s to make sure that those plumbing has been updated. Otherwise, in the next couple of years, it might be mandatory that they have to upgrade all their plumbing.
It is pretty much mandatory if you want admitted carriers right now. They want that plumbing. If it's galvanized, Mercury won't write you if you have galvanized plumbing. You have to have copper or some type of upgrade. It has to be 100% upgrade. You can't just do 50% upgrades. And while we're speaking about upgrades, the roof needs to be upgraded within the last 30 years. If the roof's not upgraded, so all these carriers are now using AI technology, Google Maps, and they're looking at roofs and they're looking at plumbing, and they're also pulling permits of when your house has been last updated. So there's the things are the roof, the plumbing, heating, and also electrical. It's electrical panel, which is most talked about right now, and it's Zensco or Stab Lock, Federal Pacific Stab Lock on the electrical panels as well. Those have to be updated, and those were a lot of homes, built or electrical panels before 1975. They're going to have Stab Lock or Zensco, and that's a no-go for a lot of our carriers. So what Derek was talking about is that, yes, if you're a homeowner, carriers want to see pride of ownership. And not everyone's going to want to update their roof or their plumbing, but it's going to come to a point you're going to have to get insurance in the future. You're going to have to make these updates, which you should. I mean, you should not want leaks in your roof. You don't want your plumbing to explode. So these are the things that homeowners, being a homeowner, you have to do. Update your house in the last 20 years. And that's going to pretty much be mandatory for people to get good insurance. And if you're not,
you'll still be able to get insurance. We could do the fair plan and a wrap, which makes the policy whole, or we could still do Lloyd's of London and these carriers. But your normal cost for insurance around town for a 2,000 square foot home, it's probably around 2,500. You go to these surplus lines carriers or the fair plan, now you're looking at 10 grand as opposed to 2 grand a year.
Yeah, double and triple prices. So the point is, take care of your home, or if you have a new home buyer that's going out there to look at homes, make sure that inspection was done well, and double check when that roof was last done. Double check when the plumbing was last replaced. This is very important for homeowners today.
Yeah.
Are there any questions out there, Joanne, or can anyone see if there's questions out there for us? Or
yeah, so guys, we have a question from Nancy. Are all insurance carriers requiring leak detection systems?
They're not requiring it. It's an awesome idea. And there are discounts for most carriers if you do have a leak detection. But they want the detection that there's a new one that came out, and one of my clients is Matucci Plumbing. I forget the system, but it actually shuts the water off if it detects a leak. The thing runs over $1,000. But there are also discounts for ones that just report to a central station and notifies a carrier that there's a loss and that you need to have someone go over there and turn the water off. But yeah, there's different discounts depending on what type of water detection system you have.
Yeah.
Farmers, I heard, is requiring it though. So if you want a farmer's policy, they're requiring you to have a detection system.
I get a question. So oftentimes we're well down the road into an escrow, and insurance used to be like 2 days before we close, call up your broker, get insurance, we bind it, it's done. Now, all of a sudden, they look at roofs, they look at plumbing, they look at Google Earth, and they're requiring all these odd things. I mean, is there something that we should be doing? I mean, this is start from day one? You talk to your broker before you talk to the lender almost.
Day one of escrow, someone just thinking about it, go try to get insurance quotes right off the bat, but you do need the inspection, that you need this information to know what type of plumbing there is. So all this needs to be done from day one as soon as possible, especially if you don't want your escrow held up, right?
Yeah, so insurance companies are actually looking at the physical inspection report?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they're looking at
Permits as well.
permits.
Yeah.
They're looking at permits, but for the new buyer to be able to tell, hey, am I buying this house with old plumbing or is it all copper plumbing? That inspection should let the buyer know. And it's also good for the broker, us or whatever broker you're going to use to see that inspection so that we can see if it has copper or galvanized plumbing or if the roof's been updated in the last 20 years.
But
So
another way, hopefully the seller of the home has been there for a while. I mean, it doesn't always happen, or they made the upgrades. So hopefully they have receipts. So, or you could at least ask them, hey, were there updates to the plumbing, roof, electrical, heating? At least he'll know so you can get the ball rolling. And if he says, no, there hasn't been upgrades, then you got to scramble a little bit.
Right. Do you ever get into a situation where if it had a bad roof or wood shingles or something like that, that you could bind the policy and then say you got 30 days to make the corrections?
We used to, but with the technology, they can see, they'll do it. Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, but mostly not.
It's best if you find those during the inspection process to have the current owner make those upgrades if they want to sell that. I mean, this is the reality that current owner is going to have to make those upgrades so that the new owner could get insurance.
Right.
Or else they're going to pay double or triple insurance. Yeah, that's another thing we do. We just wouldn't put them with Mercury, put them with the California Fair Plan or Lloyd's of London for 3 months or whatever until they get the roof updated or the plumbing updated, and then switch them back to a carrier like Mercury.
To further that, the insurance companies, you'll go on Google Maps and you're like, there is not a tree around my house. Why are they not writing this? And some of the carriers nowadays are just too saturated. They have too much business around that area that they just don't want to write there anymore. So no matter what you do to the house or that, the surrounding parts of it, they're still not going to write there until things have lightened up a little bit. And for that, like my brother said, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. We don't know. It's going to take these kids. So rates are going up, but it also takes years for those rates to go back into the books of the insurance carriers, those increased rates. So it's going to take a while for them to recoup all those losses. Yeah.
All right, guys, we got 2 more questions. So first one's from Ivy. Does installing skylights in the roof affect insurance coverage? And then the second one is from Michelle. In terms of old condo buildings, any new suggestions? Her parents are in New Horizons in Torrance, and their insurance is getting canceled in June. So those are the 2 questions.
Skylights shouldn't be a problem. I have skylights in my house. I've never heard of a problem from putting skylights in, so you should be fine there. Older condos, older condos are okay as long as there's been recent updates again. But if there hasn't been recent updates, I've come into trouble with some condos.
The
But again-
balconies are gonna be a big problem with all with condos.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why there's
There's
problems.
no recent updates, and so they can't find anyone to insure their home.
You know what? There's a new law. If you didn't hear Gov Hutchison speak yet, I just heard him again yesterday. CAR is going to start requiring all the balconies that are 6 feet off the ground from any apartment and condos. I think it starts in July. The warning's going to go out and they're going to start assessing all the properties, and they have to all be redone by within 120 days if it's made out of wood or anything combustible.
Well, they're on the bottom floor, so I don't know if that would
It's
apply
supposed to
them
be
in
just
particular,
6
but that
feet off
sounds
the ground,
interesting.
starting as a balcony, not a patio. But I just heard him say that yesterday.
And actually, this has actually started already. I have a couple clients right now in escrow in condo associations. It has to be 3 units or more, and big problems. They're not closing right now.
Right, because
Not only because-
3 units or more, exactly.
Not because of the insurance, because of the lending at least. At lending, the banks are requiring these balcony inspections. So this is a whole nother ball of wax.
No, it is. I
This
just
is a
didn't know
big-
if, since you guys are in the South Bay and New Horizons is like 600 units, if you've heard anyone, because it hasn't been updated, if you heard anyone that was insuring for that complex.
The master HOA or just the individual unit?
The individual unit, they can't get insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the carriers are just have their own algorithms if they want to insure that address or not. I mean, so we'll type it into Mercury and we'll type in your address and we go to the second page and automatically a big red sign comes up saying block bind, we don't want this address.
Yeah.
And so
But we could try it. We have surplus lines carriers, Lloyd's of London.
yes.
I mean, we can always give it a try. I think we could find something. It might be expensive, but I
Yeah,
think we can find something.
All right, I'll reach out to you guys. Thank you.
yeah, there's
Are
always
you
something.
guys doing master insurance policies too? I mean, are you seeing trouble with that and those policies being canceled, or?
We are.
Yeah, but we haven't had too much trouble, actually. Again, Mercury's running a lot of the masters. We have another company called Honeycomb that likes HOAs as well. We haven't, I think all the HOAs that, you know, that Allstate is getting off of them, Nationwide's getting off of them, and we've been writing, I mean, our hit ratio on those are, on the master HOAs has been about 90%. We've been pretty good with those.
Yeah, because I think what we're hearing is that they're going to start requiring copies of like that balcony inspection report and things like that, and then that a lot of the master policies are also being affected. So
Yeah, it quite hasn't hit us yet on the balconies. We haven't had
It's
any
coming
issue.
in July.
Yeah. Okay. All
I'm
right.
just wait.
And so what are they requiring? If you have wood balconies right now, they have to be replaced with.
it's basically Senate Bill 326, which was passed. It requires any sort of wood structures that are elevated exterior elements to be inspected every 9 years. It kicks in January 1st, but a lot of large property management companies have already started getting the inspection reports. And on the lender condo questionnaires, they ask, have you failed any recent local or statewide required inspections? And the minute they say yes, they want to see the inspection report. They want to see what's caused it. If there's any sort of water intrusion, you know, the condo becomes almost unlendable unless you're working with like a non-warrantable lender, condo lender. So it's kind of becoming an issue because it all dates back to, you know, water intrusions on a balcony in Berkeley in I think 2015, where 6 or 7 people died and a bunch of people got hurt. So yeah, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and virtually all lenders are now using this, you know, this condo questionnaire. So and calling for that report.
Okay, good to know.
Hey, guys, there's another question from Nancy about trampolines. There's supposedly she heard about some insurance companies doing flyovers and canceling policies if they find trampolines. Have you heard anything about that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That could be possible. From what I know, if the trampolines have a net around them, they're still okay. That's been okay. I haven't heard too many people getting canceled because of trampolines, but insurance companies are really tightening down the bolts, and that could definitely be possible, doing flybys and you'll get a notice on your trampoline. I haven't seen that from Mercury yet, but that's quite possible from other carriers. Yes.
Like Bill said, if you are in escrow on something, don't wait till the last minute to get insurance, because it's not that, call up and give a credit card, bind the policy. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And if you are getting canceled, you'll usually get a 30, 60, or 90-day warning. So start shopping now. Michelle, with your parents, good idea to start shopping now. Don't wait. Because, as you know, how tough it is, as they said.
Well, that's another issue too, is like a lot of people don't look at their mail and they're missing those non-renewal notices. And hence, like, we've gotten a couple HOAs referred to us with only 5 days to go because the HOA missed the non-renewal notice. So that's pretty important to start checking your mail from your insurance carriers these days to make sure you're not getting non-renewed.
Wow. Who's got insurance? Who can we work with? So I would love to be able to refer you as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Our website, by the way, is b2insurance.com. And it's just our first and last names at b2insurance.com. So Derek at b2insurance.com, Keith at b2insurance.com. Yeah.
So we do have a new question from Ivy. In condo situation, when an upper unit has pumping leak into unit below, what do you suggest for filing a claim? If the upper unit refuses to contact their insurance, should the lower report to their insurance carrier?
So unfortunately with condos, and this is why a lot of insurance companies don't want to deal with the condos anymore, believe it or not, that upper unit leaves their bathtub on and it leaks into that lower unit. Guess what? Not the upper unit's fault. It's your policy that has to take care of your own property in your own condo. And you would think that it was the person that left their bathtub on, so you don't have to make a claim on your own policy. So yeah, so the person that's on the lower unit should just make a claim with their own insurance carrier.
Wow, Derek, is that new? Because when I was with State Farm, that wasn't the case. And that's been years. But also the HOA would kick in as well. Is that
right?
a
So that's why you have insurance, and you're in condo. It's only true in condo policies. But yeah, that's true. So now the carrier, like Mercury, used to do a good faith payment of like maybe a maximum of $5,000, 5 to 10,000. I forget what the number was. But yeah, we've had some very disgruntled owners of condos saying that person's water leaked into my place. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But unfortunately, you're gonna have to use your insurance. And that's kind of like a normal rule amongst condo insurance right now.
Wow.
Well, you guys, thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, their contact information is in the chat, or always reach out to me. I have it, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. And if nobody else has any questions, it is 10:30. So thank you all for being here. And again, have a wonderful day. Happy Wednesday. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh,
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Bill.
Thank you.